Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to DeWitt 3D Canada. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It is a wonderful, beautiful Sunday here in Calgary, Alberta. Yes, we have a few people on already. Like, look at this. If I go back and it's like, Jose Ferreira, 86 minutes to go. Man, you need to get a life. I'm kidding. I appreciate you hanging out and being here. I know it's late for you. So I appreciate. So Jose is here. Teza is here. Andrew Humphrey. Hello, Snapshot FPV. Jack Black. Richard McLean from Las Vegas. Joseph Jolly. David Vieira. Stephen Reimer. Richard McLean. Jeff Thorson. Collie 05. Nick. Yo. Nick. Yo, Nick. Who else we have? Stream Elements is running. There we go. Poor Boy Channel. Hello. And Dominic Versetto. If I miss you, I am so sorry. Woot. Radioactive Scale RC. Fadion. Stephen Lebed. Good evening, Stephen Lebed. And I think I've got everybody. I think I got everybody that has spoken up in chat. Non-fam. Hello, non-fam. Anyways, welcome to my show tonight. As the title said, or as the description said, if you read it, I am still waiting for parts for the RatRig in order to do the motion system to finish the AB motors and the pulleys and the belts. I'm waiting for spacers. So there's no reason while I'm waiting for spacers that I can't get on to doing something with this back panel, which is what we're going to do tonight. I'll show you the progress I've made on the EVA hot end. I just did this. I'm going to take this apart and put it back together again, but I've got my EVA pretty much all done, except for a few things on the front. It's pretty good. It looks like a big bulky hot end, but it's actually surprisingly not as heavy as it could be. But there is a motor to go in here yet too. So we've got that going on. We're printing. Something didn't work out over here. We're trying to print another part on there. Let me restart that print. I screwed up because I had my bed all out of whack. So yeah, when you put your bed back on after taking a print off, you got to make sure you don't have it leaning because the printer tends to not like when you have a bed leaning. So yeah, drinking coffee right now. Wow. I had a water. Oh, I have a water over there if I need it. I was just relaxing in the Lazy Boy over there while I was waiting for the show to start. So anyways, what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to install, which was not on here prior to, let me switch over here. So let me turn the light on so you can see the back of this thing a little brighter. There we go. It's a little bit brighter there if we turn that light on. So everything in the previous, in the initial RatRig build, you can see all these little holes. Everything was attached right to the board here. Right to the, this is aluminum composite panel right here. 2 power supplies. No, we're going to, I think, switch out power supplies that I had in here. But yeah, I could put 2 power supplies on it, but I don't need it. But we had everything attached right to the back plate. So what we're going to do, Richard from the first layer was kind enough to give me a huge length of DIN rail. So I took these out. I didn't quite get them the same length, but that's okay. Took that big piece out to my garage today, took my angle grinder to it, and we cut ourselves up 2 500mm sections of DIN rail. And I'm going to put 2 DIN rails, one right in about here, one right in about here. We're going to mount everything in DIN rails to keep it easier to, number one, it's going to make things look a little more organized and keep things straight. And number 2, it's going to make it easy to take components off to service them, repair them, upgrade them, or whatever I want to do versus having to unscrew screws from both sides of this panel. So yes, highly recommend the DIN mount for sure. My only question was, am I going to DIN mount this way or this way? And I thought, because there's a lot of room. I mean, I took a picture. Where did I put? Right in my phone. I took a picture of the electronics on this thing, and when I first built this printer, it was overwhelming, but now it's not. But if you look, there's all the electronics in place on this thing from back when I first built it. Look at all the room that's on there. I mean, you got enough room to put double or triple the electronics in there if you want to. So I don't think it matters. I could put them like this and really drive people crazy, but I wouldn't do that. I still hear to this day about the fact that I had this little power supply mounted a little bit crooked, but hey, that's okay. So I think what we're going to do is utilize one of these holes that's there existing, possibly, maybe that one there, mount one of them here, mount another one over here. It'll give me lots of room. We're going to do some raceway channels in here to keep the wiring a lot more, I guess, pretty than it was before, because I'm not enclosing this in the back at all. You saw me dismantle the thing. Well, of course you did. Yeah. Keep them horizontal so the components don't slide down the rail. There's a good idea, Stephen Labad, too. I was thinking, am I better off to go vertical or horizontal? But that's a good idea, because I guess once I'm printing, I printed some wrong ones, but I'm using these from the Voron builds to go on the DIN rails. I got ones for the power supply. I misprinted these. I thought I had one for the little 5-volter here, but I don't. And I'm right now printing the. I just dropped my pie. I'm printing the ones for the back of this board. Now I've decided. Let me pick up my pie. Hopefully I didn't damage my little pie here. They're tough. They can take a fall to a concrete floor, no problem. I think what I'm doing, because there's a couple things going on here, I think I'm going to stick with the same board that we had in here. This is the Big Tree Tech SKR Pro version 1.2. It was working fine. I think we're going to keep the same board in here. I might put this Pi 02W back in just to be different. That, you know, Apprentice, I'm so tempted to. I am so tempted to. This Pi is worth more than your house. I'm assuming you meant to say house. Yes. I'm tempted to, but I'm either going to do this or I'm going to take the Pi 3 that I have out of my Trident and put the Pi 3 in here, because the Trident is going to be rebuilt from the ground up. I don't know if any of you know that, but I'm going to rebuild my Trident, reprint parts for it. I kind of grew tired of the multicolor theme, anyways, and I wanna reprint my Trident in a couple specific colors of ABS, and I want to rebuild the Trident from the ground up. And I want to add a whole bunch of modifications to it now that we've done the initial build. So, hey, David Wilson. So what do you think, Apprentice? Should I you use an actual raceway instead of the printed one? I have actual raceway stuff here. I have a few different sizes of raceway. So what are you thinking, Apprentice? I should maybe do a DIN rail like here. Just do them like this just to mess with everybody. That way, at least the power supplies won't slide down. And I could fit everything, or maybe if I go here and here, no. I think I'll just go, I like the horizontal idea. So maybe like here, probably one here, one down here. I don't need a lot of room. The beauty of it is that there's a ton of space in the back here for the amount of wiring that has to be done on it. So 45, yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm so tempted to go 45 degrees or even, you know, like 30 degrees, something like that. Actually, what if I did something like really mess with people's minds and do something like that? No, I would. Why would I do that? That would just be different. I don't know. I'm awful tempted. But no, we'll just go horizontal because I can utilize one of these holes already without having to re-drill. We'll just level it out. And actually, if I go over there, we'll just level it out, kind of center it. The other thing I'm going to do to clean up the wiring, a lot of the wiring is like these motor wires are way too long. Back when I built the RatRig, I was not the best at wiring and crimping, et cetera, et cetera. I've gotten pretty decent at it now. I was intimidated to make these plugs on my own, but I think I'm going to trim these wires down to their appropriate length, and we're going to keep these wires nice and short. Same with all these ones back here. These are all the motor wires that I didn't take off because why bother? They're just going to be reused. So we're going to just take all this sheathing off, and we're going to retrim the motor wires up. What other wires do I have in here? Let's see. So we have, what's this one? This is our right Z motor, and then we have a rear Z motor and what's this one? Left Z motor. So those are our 3 Zs. our Z's, and then we're going to have an A and B coming from the top here. So the more wires I can eliminate, the better. Do a Picasso thing. Well, Jose, Picasso, pick somewhere there are already holes to mount it. Oh, so in other words, okay, so there's a hole here and a hole down here. So there's, I could mount right there. I could mount one like that. And then a Picasso thing would be to do, maybe there's a hole right there. And then there's another hole. Oh, man. But that would be sort of Picasso-ish to do that. Nah, we'll just go horizontal. We'll utilize a couple of the holes. What I'm going to do to eliminate the ugliness on the other side is, on the other side, I'm going to put some inserts. I'm going to cut some inserts. I have black ABS at my office. I'm a sign business, right? So I'm going to cut some inserts and put some inserts inside here, some fresh inserts with some graphics on them. So that's going to eliminate all the ugly looking holes up here. So we're going to cut the inserts to fit in here. We do have some grommeting that we're going to have to go through in the new inserts for some of the wires. Like these are the motor wires. The bad wires go through here as well. So, but we're going to redo the inserts in here. We do have, I think everybody that was on my stream during the week saw, hey, Zombie Hedgehog, how are you, sir? We have, and who else showed up? Wow, lots of people. And so we've got our Z rods in, Z or Z, depending on where you live. We've got our Z rods in. We've got our bed mounts in. I really like the way that they have supported the rods up top and the anti-backlash system being in here versus what they did before. And then we have our back Z rod in here. So we're all set to go. We've got our X gantry in here. As I say, we've got our hot end pretty much all ready to go. We're going to have a look at this thing a little bit later because this is quite the impressive build for hot end with the dual cooling fans on there. Those are the dual 50-15 cooling fans. But we can't really put anything on here till I get my belts running. I can't run my belts till I get my spacers in back here for my AB motors. So yeah, do some Salvador Dali for the front panel. Yeah, actually do this on here and then get some Picasso art and do it on the front. Yeah, anyways, too funny. So I've decided also the power supply that came with this was a WeHo 250 watt 24 volt. I don't know that name WeHo. I think it's a brand name. I think it's a trusted name. Otherwise, RatRig wouldn't be selling it, I wouldn't think. But I think I have this just lying around, and this is a Meanwell 350 watt 24 volt. So I may just put this Meanwell and use this in here. I assume this works. I assume this works because I haven't thrown it out. And I don't even know where this came out of. I know that this was just sitting on my shelf. How soon for spacers? I'm not sure, David. I don't have a tracking number yet or a shipment notification yet. So last time I ordered something from AliExpress, it came in a week and a half. It was extremely fast. So hopefully the spacers are on their way. They don't always send out tracking information. So yeah. Going to install a beacon on this guy makes sense for the size. Yeah, no kidding. This is a big printer. So what I want to do right now is get these DIN rails installed. So yeah, again, I think I'm going to go with the original Big Tree BTT SKR Pro V12 board. Worked in there fine. We have the 2209 steppers. I think these are 2209s. There they are, 2209s. The V12 steppers. The board is already all set up and pinned out for this build. The only thing I may change is the Raspberry Pi because this has been running on it's amazing that this little Pi has been running this massive printer. It's mind-boggling. Anyways, because I think I'm going to put the Manta M8P and the CB1 on the Trident when I do the rebuild of the Trident. And so that's going to free up an Octopus board and a Raspberry Pi 3B. It's running Clipper. It's running Rat OS. Well, it has been running Clipper. The rebuild is going to run a version of Rat OS. And I guess Clipper, and on top of that is, I think Rat OS replaces Mainsail or are those other ones. So yeah, we're going to be running RatOS on it with Clipper for sure. Yeah. You're almost done with 3.1 enclosure, 2.0 upgrade, and you want to do the motor plate mods now. Yeah, the motor plate mods are great. I'm kind of glad that I've been talking to David about that. So 350 and up makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. You were going to do a beacon on your RatRig, but it's a 200 and it's already running adaptive. So the beacon probe. Oh, yes. So yes, I do have. Someone said the beacon wasn't compatible. Really, Jack? Interesting. Because I do have, coincidentally enough, RatOS is a Clipper fork. Okay, I'd rather have a Clipper spoon because I tend to jab myself with forks. Sorry, dad joke. If I check really quick here, I do have beacon coming, and it should be here. Let's see, and here I had my shipping notification, and there's my tracking number with UPS, and it will be here. Oh, not USPS. I thought it was UPS. It's arrived in Canada on the 16th of April, processed through facility, cleared customs, so I should have it this week. So I hope it's compatible, because to probe a 500 by 500 bed, when you do like a 5 by 5, which is not a big mesh for a bed that size, you want to do like a 8 by 8. It takes forever with a BL Touch that was on here to click, 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 and click, click. Whereas the beacon, I imagine, would just go, and that, you like the sound effects, I hope. So, does his bed have magnets? It's not compatible with beds with magnets inset in the bed. No, this, here, I'll show you the bed. No magnets inset into the bed. You're going to make me lift this, so I'm going to complain about it, because this is freaking heavy, and I just popped a plug out. Oh, what did I just pop out? Anyways, I just pulled a plug out of the bed. I'll have to rewire that. That's okay. Which one did I pop out? No, maybe I didn't. Oh, I was just stepped on a... Oh, okay. I see which one I popped out right here. That's okay. This is the bed. So there's no magnets built into it. It's just a big magnetic surface with a flex plate on it. So the beacon will work on this. Yes. Yeah, so the beacon will work on this. This is a big bed and it's heavy. And ironically enough, for a build this big, it's a thinner bed than on the Vorons. This bed is... Whoa. I left my good calipers in my car. So this bed is 6 millimeters, and my Voron beds are 10 millimeters. But I've not had a problem with this bed yet, so it works, and it rides on balls, as you see right there. It rides on these balls in 3 corners. Oh, what did I pull out? Which wire was that I ripped out? I ripped out the bed thermistor wire. That's okay. Bed thermistor wire can always be replaced. We're good. Most of your orders in Alley arrive in a few days to a week early, but you're currently waiting on 2 mosquito high flow clones that should have arrived March 27th. They're supposed to arrive this week. Hopefully. Fingers crossed for you, Nuno. Just thinking about what the PEI plates must cost. Make sure. I have no... This build came with the plate. Yeah. Fortunately, this is a... whoops. This build came with a double-sided PEI. We have a textured PEI on this side, and then we have a smooth PEI on this side. So, yeah. I've not had to buy a plate for this bed. I don't want to buy a plate for this bed. If I don't have to. So, yeah. Don't forget to make your... Oh, yeah. I could sleep in that thing. Who was it that said they could curl up? They could actually fit in here and curl up under here. It's so big in there, the space. Anyways. And it's so tempting when you have this thing built to store stuff in here. But hey, yeah, anyways. Hey, PF Dennis. So yes, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna, I think we're gonna just put one here, one DIN rail, say right here. I can repurpose one of these holes, and then we'll put another DIN rail probably just down. It doesn't have to be too far because the power supply will actually go on like this. So we can have the power supply down here so it's close, and then we can have run. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I'm not going to follow any rhyme or reason because, as I said, there's a ton of room back here for all the electronics. So I think we're going to put one sort of here, because that leaves room up here for the wires that are going to be coming in from the hot end. And I think we'll just put one just down, just below this bolt here. I can't remove these bolts to use them in the DIN rails. It'd be nice if I could. I guess I could, but if I remove these bolts, there's T-nuts, hammerhead nuts that will fall. And in order for me to fix that, I would have to take the whole thing apart and get, because this thing was built together as one part and then inserted and then measured and tightened in there. So, which is why I'm not going to put a new plate on the back of this. It's just too much hassle, and I don't want to, oh, this is itching me. And I don't want to, sorry if I'm making noise on the mic here. There we go, that's a little better. I don't want to have to take that all apart. Paid 40 pounds for both hot ends. I hope they're good too, Nuno. Too funny. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I put a Sharpie here somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to drill a hole. So these, I should just be able to use my M3s that I used there before. And if I put this here, or if I eyeball, if I put them in the middle, it'll allow me a little bit of lateral movement. So that looks pretty centered. And then what I need to do, so what I'm going to do is grab some hardware here. And we're just doing this, just winging it. I'm not following instructions, nothing. Instructions are for wimps. I'm just kidding. Instructions are there for a purpose. So we're going to grab some screws here from the screw kit. And I figure washers, because I don't think, I think normally, no, maybe I'll re-drill those to be M5s. Yeah, M3s are too small. Yeah, let's get my M5 kit out here. I believe that's, are these my M5s or M6s? These are my M5s. I'm actually very organized with my screws and bolts and stuff these days. Yeah, M5s are going to be much better. Oh yeah, so much better. But we only need some 10 millimeter. Button heads are fine. And we will go through, but what I'll do is yeah. So we'll just re-drill these holes. We'll do an M5 hole. And then we'll have an M5 hole over here. So this guy is going to go, talk amongst yourselves while I eyeball this. So for an M5, oh, and I finally got myself a decent drill holder. Look at that. For all my drills, I'm missing a few. I got to get a 9 millimeter, 2.5, 2, and a 1.5, and a 1. So that's part of the Gridfinity system. I don't use the whole system, but I really like this holder because it's much easier for me to pick and choose drill bits now. So I think I need a 5.5 millimeter for M5 clearance. 5 millimeter should be okay. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to make some noise. Still haven't dropped what box? What box? Oh, this box. No, no, no. No, no. I won't drop that box, Jack. Hey, Guy the Jedi. So let's, yeah, thanks, Jack. You know what's going to happen now, right? You know what's going to happen. Just in case, we're going to close that one latch. So we're going to drill this one. And I don't really care about the other side. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care. I do. We'll vacuum up all these iron shavings after. There we go. So we have that M5. So we'll go ahead and put this in. Let's get these rails out of the way here. This is massive printer, and when you're building this printer on a single bench, it's just a lot of there's a lot of stuff. So I need some M5 bolts. M5 nuts. I got some shims. There's my nuts. Do I have any Nylock M5s? I don't think I do. That's okay. What I'll do is I'll use a lock washer on it. That'll help keep it in place. So this is where it comes fun with a printer this big, and this is why you want a Lazy Susan. Can you imagine if I didn't have a Lazy Susan on this, how I'd be running around? And anyways, I don't have to tell you guys about the Lazy Susan. We love the Lazy Susan. We love it so much, I'm building another one. Okay, we're gonna go in this one. Yeah, that lock nut will be fine, or that lock washer. I could actually just skip the lock washer and put some Loctite on it, but okay. So we have that one in. Now we're going to mark or drill our next hole, and for that we want to be level. So yeah, it looks about level to me, right about. Looks about right. Okay. So we're going to drill. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. An outgoing Susan. What about an outgoing Susan? Too funny. Yeah, I guess you could have an outgoing. Let's good level here. And that's level right there. Bubbles in the middle, and we're going to put this one. We'll just put this one right in this one. We're going to be able to see that. Oh yeah, I can see that. There we go. So we're just going to drill a little pilot hole first, because I don't like going right up to the huge size to begin with. Is the table level? Oh, actually, hang on. Well, the table's not level, but that's the table being not level. So hang on, no, hang on a minute. Jack, you're making me think. You're making me think, because it shouldn't matter. Level in space is level. I'm not leveling the table, and if I'm leveling this, this is being leveled based in space. Oh, I see where you're coming from, though. Well, you're kind of freaking me out here now, you know. Making me second guess myself. Is the table level, he says. Let me snug this up a little bit so this doesn't move freely. I have a feeling that it doesn't matter whether the table's level. Oh, I don't want the magnet side. It keeps pulling it down. So there's that. Top of the aluminum rails right there. .26 millimeters to the bottom. Did it move? Hang on a minute here. Now you got me really thinking about this. .25, 28, 2. That's level right there. Now, is that level according to the level? Yes, it is. So we are okay. Looks square. Hey, Steve Builds. Yeah, that is level because really, even if the, hang on a second here. This always screws me up. Yes, it is because we're level to relative to space versus like, because if I look here, this rail is not level based on the table. It's not. Oh man, you know what? We're gonna drill. I'm worse than poor boy overthinking stuff. I know, Jack. Well, it's all your fault. You're the one that had to say, is your table level? When really it matters not if the table's level. And you know, my hole's a little off center now too anyways, so we're not going to be completely level anyways. Not with that hole off center, but you know what? I don't care. Let's drill left-handed because I can. There we go. Do I have another lock washer in here? I do. Although that's a split lock washer. Why are these lock washers on there so freaking tight? Hang on. Come on. Okay, that's just ridiculous. If you leveled your bed on a table that isn't level, then it will not be level when put into the level bench. Am I really stressing about a din whale not being perfect? Not really, not anymore. And I'm not even going to stress over the fact that I don't have a proper, oh, there's a lock washer right there. I just want to put a little lock washer on these because I don't have any M5 nylock nuts. Well, I don't think I do. I do, but I need them for other stuff. So there we go. Let's go ahead and screw this on the back. Let's grab my little, where's my, there it is. Little socket set. And I bet the one I need is already on my wrench. Is that an M5? It is too. Look at that. Okay, so. There's that one. Shouldn't even be using level. You want it parallel, not level. It'll be level when your printer is level. Exactly. That, you know what? That's a great point, Richard. Never thought of that. That's a perfect point. But it's a din rail. Who cares? It's a din rail. Things aren't going to fall off of it, I don't think. So you know what? The level's going away. We'll parallel the two din rails to each other. Oh, this is driving me nuts. Hang on. I got to find a different location. There. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if I still sound. No, that's terrible. There, that should be better. Okay. The next one we're going to put, that's a little too low, so we're going to come right about here for this one. Is there a hole here I can utilize? I can utilize one of these holes right here. I can utilize that guy right there. Are they going to be perfectly lined up? No. Do I care? Not really. It's the back. Yeah, we'll use this hole right here. So let's drill this one out to M5. There we go. Okay. And I'm straight out of luck with lock washers right now, you know. Well, there's one. That'll work. We'll put this in. Grab our nut. Hello, Richard. Best din rail ever. That is some nice din rail, isn't it, Richard? Yes, it is. I've not seen such nice din rail in my entire din rail life. Okay, we want to tighten this one up a little bit. It sure does throw sparks when you take an angle grinder to it. Okay, so now we'll make the din rails parallel. So let's see, from the top, we are 28.5 minus that, and we are 28.5 minus that. Right there. We'll take our handy dandy little Sharpie and we will mark this one right here. There we are. Whoops. Sharpie finger. Yeah, this one's slightly longer and it's over to the right a bit because I wanted to utilize a hole. You know what? Because I'm not going to have that 5-volt power supply slightly off kilter this time, I had to do something a little different. So Picasso-ish, whatever you want to call it. See if I can drill this hole a little low too. No. There we go. That one's good. That's my pilot hole. And here's my co-pilot hole. See what I did there? There we go. Okay. And one more, come on, one more washer. Oh, there's a little lock washer. Look at that. Scrap washers. None of the washers match, by the way. So now we're going to pop this over here through this hole. Okay, and this is a great set. They're not a sponsor, but I love my little set of Wera wrenches, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, great little set. Okay, and then we'll snug this one up. Look at that. We have 2 din rails, folks. Horizontal din rails. I was going to go vertical, but yeah, that was a good point. We don't want stuff sliding down on them. There we go. Din, 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 din. And as always, we put our tools back. Put our drill bits back. There we go. And yes, one is a little bit further to the right. See? And one of them was actually a little bit, but that's fine. It's going to look funny mounting electronics in here because there's so few electronics. And once I shorten those all these wires, it's gonna be stupid clean. I'm actually going to be able to put extra stuff back here just for fun. They aren't centered to each other. They don't have to be. I don't want them to be, David. Nobody else is going to see them except you and 30 other people at the moment, and anybody who happens to have nothing better to do than to watch this stream back at a later date. It's true. And I don't really, I don't care what it looks like if it does its job. If it does its job, that's fine. And look, we have, off of the bamboo, we have some instant mainboard holders. Woo! My bouncy stool. Hey, Jose, have a good night. Thank you so much. And KB3D, hello. I didn't see you pop in. Thank you for popping in and being here. I guess you have nothing better to watch now. There you go, Zombie. No, you're here because you just, it's riveting. It's riveting stuff. And, most people come just to see if I'm going to injure myself on a stream, but I haven't done that in a while. There's all our little shavings. I don't think there's any shavings around front I got to worry about. We're going to vacuum those rails out again eventually anyway. So we're going to put in the Meanwell 350 watt 24 volt. So let's go ahead and this I'm going to need, I think those are M3s for the Meanwell. Are they M3s? I think I have a loose screw here. Don't. Although I did walk into that. Do I have a loose M3? Yeah, I do right here. No, those aren't M3s. They must be M4s. Do I have any M4s? Let's see. I think that's a couple M4s in here. I know, Teza. I said it. M3, M4s. Let's see what I got here. I got a whole schwack. I think these are M4s. I think that's an M4. That is an M4. I have one M4, two M4, three M4s. I actually have four M4s. What are the chances that they are the right length? And where did they come from? I think they came off of this initially. Yeah, because this was my bag of parts for stuff I took off the back of the printer. So M4s require a 3.5, 2.5. Nope. This one. Yeah. A 3.0. So let's go ahead and get the power supply clips on. Of course, those M4s are way too big, too long. Ah! Where did they come from? Where do they go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay, those M4s are too long. Do I have any other M4s? Let's see. Or I can put some washers in them. Spacers. M3 2025s, M3 25s. Let's see, M3. Gotta have something in here, right? M4 is not a super common size. There's a shorter M4. There's one. I think are these shorter or are these just my imagination? Yeah, they are a little bit shorter. So there's two. There's three. And there's four of them. Got kit, got kit. I beat you to it. Even though there's a little, well, I think there's a little delay in chat too. So let's see. These should work. Let's just see if these are not too long. Okay, those are perfect. Okay, so these M4s are perfect. I'm a screw hoarder and proud of it. Comes in handy. Why aren't you lining up? I know you fit. There. Keep your eye on the prize. There we go. Now let's just make sure I put these on the same direction. So I discovered something cool today. I'll have to show you guys in a minute. Remind me to tell you about my 1, 2, 3 block and what I used it for today. Okay, there's our power supply M4s. Now I'm going to, I hope I printed the right ones. SKR Pro. Let's see, these should be the right size. Please be. Good, they are the right size. So I need to get this on the SKR Pro. And then I believe it's these ones here, this one and this one, that end up getting screwed onto here. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so all I need now is some of my little mini, those tiny little M2 self-tapping screws. Do you really want to know what I use it for? Do I have an affiliate link to who? What was I talking about that I would have an affiliate link to? Oh, these drivers magnetic. No, these are not magnetic. And I don't, these are just Amazon. If you just go ahead and they're newer, they're the same people that make those lights. If you just Google newer hex keys, you'll find them. It's interesting that they make lights and that they make these. I like these because they're 4 colors. And so I know for my M3 screws, they're blue. My M5 screws are gold. My M2 screws are silver. And the brass, or the lighter gold one, yeah, I really like these just because, again, color coded. So versus my other set, which I had, and the reason I got new ones is because I broke the tip on my 1.5 millimeter on my other set, and I don't even know where it is, but yeah. So M34, oh, it must be in my other case. There they are. These are great little cases, by the way, double-sided cases. They're greasy. They're great. There we go. We have our M2 by 10 self-tappers. And I know for the M2, it's my little silver guy, which is a 1.5 millimeter. So what we do first is we're going to take our SKR mounts through here, and that is going to self-tap into here. And hello, Ben Brady. I don't think I said hi to you earlier. Quite often you say, I'm never going to use these screws, and all of a sudden you need them. And you're glad you got them. You just usually look at the tip to see what size they are. That helps, right? But how often, okay, am I the only one, probably, that has said, oh, that's the right one. You go to put a screw in and you go, why isn't this friggin' screw tightening? And then you realize you've got the wrong size. It's too small. I have done that so many times. I'll admit that I've done that. Same price, but magnetic. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't, you can magnetize anything, but I don't, I like these grip, like there's an M2 screw being held on with this thing. It's not magnetic. It's just that it's a nice snug fit, and it, take 2. I don't edit my lives. It's a nice snug fit, and it doesn't fall off. So that was actually kind of funny, if I may say so myself. So we want that one to go this way. This one's going to go this way, and this thing's going to go on this. Hang on a minute here. I don't want to screw this up, the orientation of this up. Like this, and this is going to go on this side. All I need is to get them wrong, and then I can't get them on the DIN rails. So in order to do that, I might suggest you have some new content coming up. Oh, look at that. Cool. Tired of tampering with them myself. Ah. Okay. Okay, so we have those on. Now we're going to need, okay, the hardware for the board should be in this bag that I had the rest of the hardware in, including the little nuts that go with it. So let's get this block out of the way. Okay. Interestingly enough, is this steel? Is this magnetic? I'm curious about that. Let's see. Oh, it is too. Good, it's steel. Okay. Okay. Here, let me lower this camera just a tad so you guys can kind of. There we go. You can't really see what's going on here. So right now I'm just dumping out a bag of screws. Okay, so I believe it's just these little guys here. Yeah, that's all I need is this. And this one, just a couple little M3s. Don't drop it. We'll do the old finger spread. And then we will. Oh, those are definitely not long enough. Okay. We'll use these longer ones. These are probably too long. Let's just see. But too long is better than too short. Okay. These holes are not quite big enough for M3s, but I want them to be M3s. So you know what that means? You know what that means? It's drill time again. And the more I use this drill, the more chance I have of injury. So stay tuned. You can get aluminum ones, but they're not accurate. 20, 50, 70. Oh, I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to show you in a second here. I'm going to drill these out. I think these are meant for 2.5 M2.5s instead of M3s, but we're going to make them for M3s. Because I want to, and I can. I got a vacuum down here one of these days. I try and keep all my mess organized, especially all these plastic shavings. Okay. So I'll show you what I use this for. This is a 1, 2, 3 block, as you all know. You can get them in metric, and I forget what the metric one's called. 25, 50, 75 is metric, maybe. So with that, I checked the accuracy of my calipers. It's a great block to check the accuracy of your calipers because, of course, if you buy your 1, 2, 3 block, I have 2 of these. If you buy these from a reputable source, they should be exactly 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inch, right? So now I don't know what they are in metric, but that's okay. You switch your calipers to inches, and if you measure, oops, I'm twisting here. Hang on a minute here. If you measure and go in 1 inch, okay, and then if you go this way, 2 inch, and then if I go this way, come on, I'm just at an awkward angle here, sorry. Come on, there we go, 3 inch. Oh, 3.01, it drifted after I turned it off to the camera, but if I go like this and like this, we're 3 inches. So we know this block is telling me that the calipers are accurate, like dead accurate, which really surprised me because I got these calipers. These are, let's turn this off. These are plastic. I think these are supposed to be carbon fiber, but I don't think it's carbon fiber. They're plastic. And the reason I got these calipers was when you're measuring magnets with metal calipers, it can be a pain in the butt. So I got these calipers specifically for when I'm measuring magnets because they don't stick to this and it's much easier to use. And then when I saw them and realized that they're made of plastic and it's just a no-name thing that I got on Amazon, I thought, how accurate is it? But check it with the block and oh my goodness, it's dead accurate, 1, 2, 3. So that, assuming that it's accurate with 1, 2, 3, when I switch to millimeters, I'm going to make the assumption that it's accurate with millimeters too. And yes, you're right. 25.4 is, I think, what it worked out to be. So anyways, that's, hey, Kit, So that is exactly what I've never done that before. Check the accuracy of my calipers, and then I don't even know why I thought of it today. I thought, hey, I got a 1, 2, 3 block. Let's see how accurate the calipers are measuring, and they measured really accurate. Okay, so we're going to put this on. Oh, that's perfect. And then we have our M3 nuts. Come on, get on there. Got a little bit of plastic shavings here stopping. Actually, that might be good for keeping my nuts solid, keeping my nuts nice and tight. I got these gargantuous size hands handling these tiny precision parts. There we are. Okay, so M3s I know are blue. So I know to grab my blue one, and I know I got the right size. And then we just got to grab our little side angle, hold this nut. There we go. Okay, there's one of them. Oh, saved it. That one's a little longer even. Yeah, where's the other shorter ones? There's that one. And there should be one more that length. I think it's this one. Is that the right length? That is the right length. Good. Don't need a washer on this side. These boards have the little built-in, I guess if you want to call it an isolator or an insulator on this, so that we don't have to worry about grounding the board out or screwing the board up. Okay. Putting your 2.4 R2 from Phystech through its initial checks. Awesome. Hopefully you can get it printed tonight. Well, I'm sure you will, Kit. Sounds good. Do not rely on the light ones. On the light blocks is what you're talking about, or the light calipers? I just use the calipers for, as I say, those particular ones I use for magnets. I have a really good set of, I have a really good caliper for doing my precision stuff. Okay, so there is our main board ready to go. I guess I probably should have turned them in, but who cares? It's not like I'm going to be struggling for space on there. So the only one I don't have is, and I think Richard's still on here. I think he said he had one. I need one of the, this is my SSR. I need the grounding one. It's the clip-on. You guys know what I mean. I need one of the mounts for the SSR to go in a DIN rail. I don't have one of those, but I think he does have some spares. So. Okay, throw that over there. Swing you around. So power supply. So my power is going to come in from over here, my main. I actually need to print a mount for the main. The last one I had mounted into the side panel. I'm not putting panels on this one. So we're going to have a little mount probably that's going to mount into this DIN rail or into this extrusion. Let me get rid of this. I got some shavings in here. And so I'm going to have my mains over here, so it just makes sense that I have my power supply down here somewhere. You still have some? Good. Awesome. Hey, Steve Machado. And so this guy should just sit nicely. If the power's coming in here, I can always route my wires, or should I sit him? Oh, I should have thought of that. If I sit him like this, I should have my power outlets. No, I could have him running in here and running through. So he can sit somewhere like that. I like the DIN rails because it's just so much easier to put things on. And then my main board is where all my motors are going to run to. So we have a motor, hot end coming down. If we have him sitting up here somewhere in that area, that's fine. Then we can have, we have our SSR, which can kind of go anywhere. The SSR can go. Yeah, I'm probably better off to have this power supply a little further in. There we go. And maybe the SSR goes over here. Anyways, I'll figure that out. And then the 5-volt power supply, which is going to be powering the Pi, I mean, that can go anywhere. I mean, I got so there. That's all that's going on here. Is we have the Pi. So basically, everything in my hands is what's going on here. So look at the room we have. It's not like we're crowding it into a like the Voron builds or a V01. We have a ton of room here to decide where to put things. So for now, I can just kind of clip this in. Why aren't you clipping in? These things are stiff. I should have run them out of TPU. No, I'm kidding. You do not want to clip. It doesn't want to clip. I know it's the right piece. And I don't want to bend my board. Whew. Not running power off is an octopus for the Pi. No, this is not an octopus. This is a SKR Pro V12. And no, there's no power on this for the octopus for the Pi. I don't know can I run power off this? I don't think. We have bed power, hotbed power, and motor power. And I don't believe there's anywhere I can plug in this to draw 5 volts off of it. Now, that's the other thing is I've got steppers. I could run an octopus on this. I do have an extra octopus, so I could put an octopus on this, and that would eliminate the need for this. So, you know, but for some reason, this does not want to snap onto the DIN rail, which is okay. I can, I think it's just, very tight. What's the worst thing that I can do? Break my printed part? Yeah. There it is. There it is. It's just very tight. But for now, there we are. So, and just, I know why. I need to put a 3rd screw in the DIN rails because they're pretty flexible in there. But that's on there. That's not going anywhere. And power supply. Yeah, I just need to put there we go. So that can stay there for now. This guy can go pretty much anywhere where, depending on where I'm going to put the Pi. I've got to make a mount up for the Pi. If I use this Pi, I may end up taking the Pi 3. It may heat the DIN rail and melt your PLA clips. Don't think anything's. I haven't had that problem with any of the Voron builds. With the clips melting. Anyways, if we melt a clip, we melt a clip. So I got to decide which Pi I'm going to use, because if I'm going to use this, I've got to come up with a mount for this. If I'm going to use a Pi 3B from the Trident, and I can just steal the mount that I have on the Trident and just click it onto a DIN rail, and then Richard will give me a mount for this guy, which will probably go down here. I'll move the power supply over. I'll turn the power supply around. That might actually be more feasible to do. Mind you, I have to turn those clips around too. Although no, this should work just like that. So if we have the power supply, the mains coming in here, into the power supply, out to this guy. I obviously I couldn't find the proper clip for this, but this will actually get on there. This will clip on here somehow, probably like this, because it's going to go out to wherever I happen to put the Pi. I could put this here. I could have this here, and the Pi could just sit over here if I'm just using this one. So that's all to be decided. Just mount the aluminum SSR on the plate. Yeah, but my whole idea is to get rid of mounting stuff on the plate. That was the whole idea. This was mounted on the plate at one point. It was mounted, actually, I think it was mounted right. That's exactly where it was mounted, was right there. I could do that, I suppose. It's not one of those parts that I'm going to take on and off. If it shouldn't get that hot. No, it shouldn't. You put a Pi 3B because you had it in a box. I have a spare Pi, but I don't know. How do you tell if a Pi is working? You know, not the plate. Read again. Just mount an aluminum plate on the SSR. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I've got a mount for the SSR, so not worrying about that. So we have a 5-volt supply to go on. If I keep this board, we have our SSR and we have our Pi. And that's it in the back for electronics, other than, yeah, that's it. No, other than some cabling. Let's see. And my switch, of course, so this guy is going to go over here somewhere. So this is going to be, I know there's something you can print that mounts into your rails that will allow me to have this guy here, or either that or I'll just design something, because I'd like this just to be sort of in the back over here so that I can run the power over here right into the mains. So yeah, we'll figure that out. What SSR is this? This is a Omega solid state relay. This came with the original RatRig kit. There's the SSR right there. Omega, which either that or I bought this one. I think this was a Canadian. No, I think I bought this in Canada. But Omega, I think it's a decent brand. So, yeah. Other than ungodly lengths of wire to be woven together like backside blanket. Well, I'll keep the wiring relatively simple, I hope. So what we're going to use on the back, let me go grab them. I have, there it is. No, there it's not. Where did I put it? I have a whole slew. Oh, I think it's because, so I have a bunch of these. So I have all this, and then where's my big one? Whoops, kicking boxes. Oh, I just knocked over my big LED display. It's busted anyways. I got to fix it. Oh, I should just toss this thing. Although those LED panels are still working. Okay. Where is, I have a big length of raceway somewhere. Don't remember where I put it. Huh. I don't think I used it all, but I've got all this stuff. So we're going to incorporate some raceway wherever we need it. Here. I can put a length. I can put a length in here if need be. Hi, in here. Yeah, why? Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. I just dropped something. I didn't mean to. Do you want to come and say, hit that like button? You haven't done that in a while. I have a little special guest that's going to look into this camera. Stand over here. Look into this camera and say it.
Wait, which one?
Right there, the little black camera there.
Oh. Hit that like button and subscribe. Bye.
There you go. You haven't done that in a long time. There you go. He's kickboxing. To check a Pi, plug it in and see if it starts up. That's it? Okay. Because I have a Pi that I haven't been using because for some reason I couldn't get it to work. Actually, I think it was the original Pi for this, and that's why I went with the Pi Zero. But I think that's back before I knew what I was doing. Anyway, so I've got a lot of this, and then I've got a big hunk of this somewhere else. I got some nice wide stuff, which is great for, you know, running all my motor wires in. But I just don't know where I put it. Yeah. Anyways. It's going to bug me now unless I used it all, but then I have a local electronics store here where I can actually buy a big length of speedway or raceway, whatever you want to call it, for like $12 for like it's like an 8-foot length. I have some around somewhere. That's here and there. So yeah, I'm going to grab my water real quick here. Have a little bit of a drink because my throat is parched. Ah, that's better. So if I switch to that and then go to this one. So let's talk about the hot end on this thing. It's really cool. I'm going to take this apart and show you guys what's involved in this hot end. And I need to find my part cooling fan, or no, sorry, my hot end fan, because I don't know where I put my hot end fan when I took this whole monstrosity apart. Oh, there's that knife I was looking for. There we go. I was looking for this earlier today. So flash it with a new OS, then SSH it in to test it. Okay, that's a good idea. I got your like. Well done. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me grab one thing. Give me one momento here, por favor. I need to find where I put. That's the rest of my RatRig parts there that I don't need. There's that end switch I was looking for. Don't need those bolts. But I do want to look at, well, come to think of it, that pie I was talking about, I don't even know where I put it. So that may be a or is that it right here? Yeah, that's it right here. Here it is. So here, I'll take your advice and we'll do that probably off screen. Yeah, there's the pie that I didn't think was working. This is a Pi 3B+. So it would work perfect for this build if this Pi is working. I guess I can power it up and try it. So we'll keep this aside and we'll give that a test. And then I was looking for this. This is the YN stop switch that I'm going to need for this when I get those parts in. So, okay, so onto this EVA. This thing is pretty cool. This is pretty much how this is going to look assembled, except for the front part here. Is it the blue? No, I think this is the. These are those cap screws. I'm not sure what I want to do for the front cover on this. See, there we go. I'm not even sure what size hex key this takes, but I think it's this one right here. So this is the EVA 3. One thing that I noticed that they've done when I was looking at the instructions for assembling this, one thing I'm glad they've done that drove me nuts on the first time I did the RatRig, and I think covers are for wimps. I agree, David. I don't like the way this cover sits. I'm not out to win a fashion contest for my printers, although I do hate that Trident multicolor build I did now. It looked cool to begin with, but I just can't look at it much anymore. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use the cover. It serves no purpose other than to show off the logo. So basically, here's the front of that. It's got the mosquito hot end on it. There we go. I've got to find my cooling fan that goes on front there. Okay, so we have the mosquito hot end. The hot end's not fully inserted. It's not screwed in from the top. We have the Bondtech extruder. The motor's got to go on the back of the Bondtech extruder yet, and then we're going to have the dual 50-15 cooling fans on it. And then underneath, of course, is where the hot end is and where the fan ducts are. Stop looking at it and it will bite you. Yeah, RatRig has their own cover with a logo on it as well. Yeah. Yeah. The Lego looking build. Send it this way. I'll send you the parts. I'll send you the parts, Stephen. But one thing they did, and I'm just going to pop this apart as I talk, and I think, David, did you do the EVA 3, David, on yours? And it's a mean-looking tool head. It looks heavy, but it's not. Now, of course, there's this motor to go on it yet. Okay, so it's got this stepper motor to go on it. And these are all LDO stepper motors. So this stepper motor's got to go on it yet. I can't get it in there right now because it's built in a different order. This goes on before the cooling parts go on. But once that motor's on it, I don't have a scale here, but it's pretty, it's not as heavy as you may think. The motor itself is probably, it's almost equal right now. Like, it's pretty cool. That'll work too. Try it on the radar, a 0 or a 0. Okay, I got lots of spare 0 parts too. Let me grab a tray. It doesn't matter. I got lots of hardware. I'm just going to throw all my screws right there. I was going to grab a tray to put all these screws in before I lose them. And I don't even remember the order I took this thing. I put this thing together and it's just so funny. But so let me pop off this, because yeah, really the motor goes in and these screws are holding the motor on as well. And right now I just have nuts holding these on for the extruder because I just wanted to see this thing all put together. But basically what happens is you can see that is where the rail goes through. Linear rail goes through. And then this little piece right down here, there's a block that goes in this side on the upper and a block that goes in this side on the lower. And those are your belt tensioners. And then your belts, your front belts come in and clip in through here. They come around and do the loop, and then they come into these little guides right here. And then those are your belt tensioners there. It's a really cool design. It really is. Could try the VZ-Bot printed print head. The cooler looks good. Yeah, this is a pretty neat looking cooler that they've done on this. I had the option to do dual or single, and I thought I'd do dual. These fans I had spare because I'm not using the Nevermore on either one of my Voron builds. So I had 4 spare 50-15 fans. So that's with the extruder off. The Bondtech is off, and then man, I kind of forget how I put this all together. So then the cooling fan, this comes off. This I didn't tighten. There's just one screw that's going to go in there to kind of hold the fans in place there. And then there's a screw down below. We take this off, keep that nut in place, and then the cooling comes off. So there's how we're, whoops. And I'm pretty sure I can get away with connecting these to the same power. These are 24 volt. But there's your cooling fan, your dual cooling fan duct right there. Okay. And it's just nice the way that it just sits in here and just fits in there, tucks in there nicely, screws in, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So we're down to this. So that's the part I was telling you about right there, where the belt tensioning happens right here. So there's a couple little pieces here that look like this. So you put a bolt through here. You run your belt into these teeth right here. Okay, so your belt's going to be running in there. You put a bolt through there and a nut on the side of this. This will slide in to that gap like so. Okay, and then from this side, you're going to take that bolt and tighten that bolt, and that's going to pull your belt tight. So it's pretty cool. It's a really neat belt tightening system that they've done on this. You put a Nevermore in your V-core. Ah, cool. The front I showed last week was sexy. Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, the where did I put that front from last week? I don't remember. Is this the front from last week? I don't remember if that was the one I showed last week or not. I think it was a different one. So then this guy comes out. And this all gets built on the rail and around the rail. You can't build this like this and then go ahead and slide it on. It doesn't work. It's all going to be built on the rail. Hence why I couldn't get the stepper motor in at this point in time. And I wanted to put it together to make sure that all my tolerances and everything were good and that I had everything lined up and that I put my... there's a mod for an M5 brass heat-in set. For what, David? For M5 brass heat. Oh, is there really? Oh, for that. Oh, I prefer that. because I'll tell you what, oh, the one thing that, and I'm getting there, the one thing that drove me nuts, I'm going to tell you about. So then this part comes off, which is what's basically, there's the belt tensioner, and that little part on top is just what's going to be holding the cable organizer. And then the fan blowers, the blowers get attached to that whole unit there. I didn't even use any of the EVA hardware they gave me. I just used my own screws. Okay, and then this part basically now comes off of the top. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, but once you do it once, it's like when I had all the parts, I thought, how the heck does this go together? But once you do it and see how it all goes together, it's brilliant. But the good news here, hey, good evening, John. How are you, sir? The blocks. Okay, David, I'm going to look for that because I prefer the heat insets. Okay, then this comes apart, and then there's 3 more screws that I got to take off of this one. So this is the mount for the extruder for the Bondtech and the motor. And then this mount comes off like so. There's a lot of hardware in this, but it's well put together. So there's the motor. There's the motor and extruder mount, and then we have the. This is the mount that goes onto the linear rail. So it goes onto the linear rail. Everything mounts around that. So this is the first thing that goes on. Then you build around this piece. So this one is interesting. Okay, and this has. I found this interesting that there's 2 screws on each side of this, which is used to stabilize the hot end. Now the hot end does screw in through the top. I'll show you that in a minute. I didn't have the right screw, so I didn't screw it in through the top. So the hot end is just being held in by these 4 screws that are stabilizing it here. So I can pull these out. And the beauty of this is nothing is threaded into plastic. And there's no, other than a few spots, there's no nuts in this. Hey, Matt. So there's no nuts being used in this other than a few spots which are really non-critical. But yeah, so if I take these retaining, I call these retaining screws because they basically are in there to hold the hot end from having any horizontal movement or shifting. Now you'll see the hot end will just pop right out because I didn't have the right screws to screw it into the top there. So the hot end will just pop right out, and there's your little mosquito hot end. Ouch! It bit me. Darn mosquitoes, you can't trust them. And then this just pops out of here. And then so the normal way is that you're going to throw your hot end in here. Oops, I just lost my chat. Where did my broken chat go? There we go. So the hot end goes in here. You have 2 screws that screw in holding your hot end here. I just didn't have the right size screws. I don't know where I put them, but I will find them. They're M2.5s for that. So that goes in here, and now you got to make sure that this does not go in. You think you'd want it this way, so you read slice engineering, but what happens if you put it in this way and put it in this way, you're going to have that hot end extremely close to your plastic, and you don't want that. So the hot end goes in that way front, so slice engineering is in the back so that we don't have any extremely close contact. I think that's the way this goes, although it might go this way so that our cords come out the back, which is why we print these things in ABS. That might be fine. I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to look up and see whether that goes in this way or this way. Anyways, one thing they did that I loved, and I think is the mosquito worth the cost? So far, yes, I really like the mosquito, but I didn't pay for this mosquito. This good friend of mine, he hasn't been on stream in a while. He helped me a huge time with the RatRig build. You guys, I know him as Jason. You guys know him as Jason Tech Support. He sent this to me. He had a couple extra Slice Engineering mosquito hot ends, and he generously sent this to me. So I don't even know what these things cost. So that was given to me. Had a heat wave. So anyways, the beauty of this, and David Wilson, you'll probably agree to this. if you look at the assembly instructions for this, and on the first build I did on the RatRig for the EVA, everywhere there's a heat inset in here now. Okay, on there, everywhere, most of the places on there, most of the places on here where you see heat insets now, they had slide in nuts. So they'd have a little cutout on the side here, for instance, to slide in a nut, to slide in a nut, to slide in a nut, slide in a nut. When I was assembling this thing, and you're putting whatever together, it doesn't matter, and you're getting your screw in there, and if that nut falls out, which it happened a lot to me, if that nut falls out, or if that nut's not quite glued in properly or in there properly, and the nut falls out, you have to take the whole friggin' thing apart to get to that nut to put it back in place. So it was crazy to build with nuts, wasn't it, David? But now they've changed it to every critical spot in here where there were nuts is a heat inset. So you do not need to use nuts anymore. And that's one of the reasons I just assembled this like I did, to make sure that all my heat insets were in the proper position and it was going to go together fine. And it worked great. But I love heat insets. I can't say enough about them. And now that David told me that there is a modification for these parts with M5 heat insets, I am going to look that up and print these, because that's just these two little pieces that are used for adjusting the belt tension. Right there. Oh, that's twisting the wrist. Look at that. So yeah, that is awesome. When that nut moves, you invent new swear words. Stephen, you don't know the half of it. Oh. Especially when you have a part in the back and you're taking a 30, 40, 50 millimeter long screw, putting it through an area where there's supposed to be a nut sitting in there, and that nut pops out the back because it wasn't quite seated in there properly, and you just hear tick, 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 tick. And you know you have to take the whole friggin' thing apart to get it back in. Yeah, definitely. David Vieira, you indeed learned a few swear words building yours. Yeah, you do. Right now, my swear words are reserved for when I'm running the belts. But thanks to David introducing me to the new open concept of the pulleys that we're going to be doing, apparently the belt running is a whole heck of a lot easier. That was the hardest part, was in the back, getting the belt around those pulleys with the big plastic parts. So that should be a whole lot easier. But thank you for the tip on these, David. I'm going to reprint these with the M5 inserts. I do have a whole bunch of different size insets. I'm sure I have an M5 one. So, but yeah, this is pretty cool the way this all goes together. So this would go up on the rail. First, you'd put this on the rail, and then you build around it. So yeah, I mean, I can put it together now. It's just like a jigsaw puzzle, but you guys don't need to see me put it together again. Yeah, so that is EVA, but I'm really digging this this dual fan thing. Now, I have two schools of thought on my blower. I printed two different blowers because now I'm not going to get into controversy here, but and I don't really give into rumors and etc. But I heard stories. But anyways, first thing, if you go to EVA's site and they say if you're using a mosquito hot end, they suggest that you use this blower. Okay, so it blows from the sides and it blows from the back, because they said there was issues with people having cooling problems with the mosquito hot end. Okay, so that's why I printed this one. Then I heard from an unnamed source that, oh no, they just tell you that because they don't want you buying mosquito hot ends because RatRig is having issues with slice engineering. I don't know, and that you can get away with just using this one. So I don't know. I'm the type that'll say, okay, you know what? I've not heard that firsthand myself. So I will probably go by the instructions, maybe put this one on, and then see how it works. If I'm having trouble with this, then yeah, then I can take it off. These are easy to switch once these are done. These are two screws that come off the back. You can switch these things easy. Try them both and go with what you like. Exactly, Bob. Yeah. about RatRig and Slice is not true. Yeah. And again, when I hear something random from people that I don't know very well and I just hear them talking about something, how do I know they don't have an issue with Slice Engineering or they don't have an issue with RatRig? I don't know that. So not that I don't trust people, but sometimes I just like to find things out for myself and figure them out for myself. So we're speaking very minimal plastic. It didn't matter. Bamboo printed these things stupid fast. So I've got both. I'm going to go with what they recommend on the build for the EVA site. This wasn't even on the RatRig site. This was the EVA site. So I'm going to go with what they recommend with this one for the mosquito hot end. If I find this is giving me cooling issues, which if anything, it's going to be cooling too much, especially with those dual blowers I got going in there. I mean, this thing is going to be a wind tunnel. So, I mean, just imagine this thing blowing on your part. It's like, it's going to be a wind tunnel. So, but yeah, so that's a nice cooler, isn't it, John? Yeah. So it's going to have dual 5015s on it, just like that. And it's going to be cooling off the mosquito because, you know, those mosquitoes can get pretty hot. So anyways, we'll see. And that means, and also with a good cooling system like this, I should be able to crank the speed on the RatRig up a fair bit. So yeah, that's the other reason I went with the duals instead of the single, because that'll allow me to get better cooling for faster printing. So we just have to go with that. You like the one with the 4 ducts? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a neat design. The only tricky part is there's a little bit of a, oh, I bet I could put a heat inset in there though, because what you need to do is there's a screw that's going to go right through and right through here, and then you need a little nut on the end in order to screw that on. But I bet I could put a heat inset in this bottom side and then just use a heat inset to tighten that on. I think that's what I'll do, because there is room on that one hole, and maybe that's even designed to have a heat inset put in it. Right on the back there. See that? Yeah, that top one's a little bigger. So I think that is designed for a 3mm heat inset. So in that way, it saves me having to put a little nut on the inside here. So let's just see. I'm positive. Yeah, that's why it's that much bigger. They don't do that. Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely made for a heat inset. And that's one that I missed because yeah, I can get that started and we'll set that in there, because on this one, this was probably made for a heat inset as well, and I just didn't put it on. You have dual 12K RPM 4010 blowers on your Trident, so it's loud when printing PLA, I'll bet. But look at the cooling you have. I mean, look at the speed you're going to be able to get with that good cooling. Not that speed is everything. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, no, it's not. So okay, so we're going to get that heat inset in there while we think about it. And I don't have a whole lot more to do tonight, guys. I just wanted to get the electronics bit started. I got to print a couple parts for the electronics bay yet. I've got to decide what I want to do for a board and an MCU. I don't know if I want to take as I say, that Trident's coming apart. We're going to reprint all the parts on the Trident. I've got to order new belts. No, I probably don't have to order new belts, because the belts that are out there, I may order new belts because I don't like dealing with short ends of belts. Belts are cheap. So we'll order new belts. We're gonna rebuild it. When we rebuild it, we're gonna keep the tap on it. We're gonna put the Manta M8P with the CB1 on it, I think, is what we're gonna do. We have the light X rail that's gonna go across that I-beam structural looking type X rail, which is like a hell of a lot lighter than the I don't know what they're called anymore. What else was I going to put on it that's different? We're putting the CAN bus system on it, so we're going to put CAN bus on it. Yeah, so we're going to basically do a lot of upgrades and modifications to it. So I was just thinking, you know what, the color's cute, but and someone say something bad about the colors on the Trident? No, Andrew, not at all. It's me. It's me. I look over at it. I mean, I look over at it, and I don't mean to badmouth it or bash it, but I look over at it. Well, you can't see it here. I'll just I'll just show you. I don't know why I don't like it anymore. I liked it when I started it. I don't know. Not many people have seen it. So, and I put it out there on Twitter. I put it out there on the socials. Oh no, nobody's badmouthed it at all. It's me. It's just. I think I could make it look so much better. If I go here, and yeah, it's apart for it. There's a lot of it apart right now because we had some issues with the tap. We had to rebuild the tap. But there it is there. You know, we got the big sticker on the back. We got all the little funky colors. There we are. And it's right next to its big brother, the 2.4 R2. And I just think I need a new ball head on this camera because it just keeps sagging. There we go. I don't know. I'm kind of growing tired of the colors. I think I'd want something a little more, I don't know, standardized. Anyways, I have an ulterior motive as well, and another Skittles. There is another one out there, and the other Skittles theme Trident. The other Skittles theme Trident. I like this camera view for some reason. It looks like a security camera. It's vibrant and loud. It is. The other one's going to be vibrant. It's going to be reprinted with Polymaker filament. Polymaker ABS or ASA, I haven't decided. I got a bunch of Polymaker ABS coming in, so I'm going to pick a color theme. The other Skittles one, he did a great job on the rails, or no, on the drag chains of putting dots. He painted dots along the drag chain like little Skittles. It's really cool. So I can't compete with that. I mean, come on. You can't compete with that other guy's Skittle build. So, but what's going to happen with this new Trident build, ironically enough, is it's going to happen probably a little later in the summer or earlier in the summer. You like things to look more slick and less like a toy. No, Richard, hey, I appreciate that, man. No disrespect taken. And I appreciate the honesty in that. And you know what? I see truth in that. And that's part of my thinking here is a professionalism thing. But the other thing is, and it's more for some testing purposes, because all the new parts for the Trident are going to be printed on the K1. That's just a little hint. So we're going to print them on a different brand printer. So which is number one going to enable me to test out the printing capabilities of a printer. They're going to be printed all in Polymaker filament because Polymaker is a major partner with Do It 3D Canada now. All in Polymaker filament. I'm going to have all the modifications that I wanted to do on them right from the get-go. We're gonna be putting some new Big Tree Tech boards and stuff that they've been sending me in them. I've got the latest thing they sent me was the part that I need for the CAN bus for the M8P board. So Big Tree Tech has given me a lot of technology to test and try out. So we're going to be putting a lot of Big Tree Tech stuff in it. So there's a few reasons for doing this. And I'm picking on the little Trident because it's the one that I'm least happy with now that I look at it more and more. So K1 Creality, yes. You sent me an email with some mods, David. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So the RatRig is I got to get this up and running sooner than later. So this is something, as soon as those parts come in, I really want to focus on this because I have an actual customer job that I need the volume for, because the pieces I've got to print for them they're big. I can't get away with them on a 300 millimeter printer or even a 350. I need the 500. Did I get a duck with it? Actually, no. Come to think of it, Nuno, I didn't get a duck with this one. No, this one didn't come with a duck. This is a little board that plugs into the Manta M8P, and this is called a DC. Well, this is a U2C V2.1. It's just turns the Manta M8P into a CAN bus. It's the CAN bus system for the Manta M8P version 1.0 because I don't have the version 1.2 board. And then this is the heat sink for the CB1 that I got on Amazon. Thank you for Richard for putting that link up there for me. And yeah, So what do I need this beast for? Well, right now I need to get it up and running because I have a customer job that requires about a 450 millimeter printed cover for a custom thing that they're doing, and I'd like to print it in one piece for them. It may even be a little bigger. But as far as ducks go, not that I have all my ducks in a row. I was going to hopefully add to the collection, but oh, there we go. But there's my duck collection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a few ducks up there. So rubber duckies. Yeah. Up some ducks up there with a few prints. So yeah, I have my ducks. They're all. It cracks me up when I look at those guys. Sorry, dad jokes. What can I tell you? Your wife steals all yours. So that's what you use the RatRigs for, the size. You don't know any other printer that has fairly priced that has this volume. Yeah. So basically with all the printers I have all the size covered pretty much. I have the 0.1, the 250 Trident, the 300 2.4, and a 500 RatRig, all Core XY. Well, and then we have the this guy here, the P1P, all Core XY, and there's going to be another Core XY in the collection. So I have all the sizes covered, and so that's all the printer I will ever need. Then of course we have our Prusas, the Mini and the Mark III, and that's it. I've for the most part sold off all my other printers, and I'm frankly, after all of this is said and done, I think I'm done with builds for now. I do have another little guy coming in from a company called Kingroon. I'm getting their KP3S Pro is coming in, and they specifically asked me to live stream the build and test print of that one. I've got the KP3S that they sent me back here that I'm going to just do a side-by-side comparison and let people know what the difference between the 3 Pro and the 3S is, 3S Pro. And afterwards, then they want to send me the KP5L. And I'm fine with that. I don't mind showing off printers, and if they work well, then that's great, because the KP3S is a fairly simple budget printer that I think works really well. It's no 0.1 Voron, no, for sure. It's about the same volume, but it's definitely a decent entry-level printer with some pretty interesting features for the price point. And so when they said you want to have a look at the Pro, I said yeah, absolutely. And the main difference between the Pro and the KP3S is that, of course, built-in power supply. So yeah, so we're gonna see what happens with that. You wanted the Kingroon Zombie? Yeah, that's a good little printer. I mean, people bitch and complain about it a little bit because, yeah, it's got that tiny little screen, but who cares? If it prints what you want to print, it prints. And it's, considering the fact that it's an under $300 printer with linear rails and a direct drive hot end, I mean, come on, what can you do? So, so what's going on now? Let's see. You're going to have to pay the bill for that wise quack. Oh, I get it, Andrew. Andrew, you're my comic relief on this stream, and I love it. Don't ever stop. Do not ever stop. Oh, the regular Pro, not the Clipper one. Yeah, they don't. No, this isn't the Clipper. Does Kingroon have a Clipper? Oh yeah, Kingroon has a box type printer now out, don't they? I don't know what that one is, but I've just started working with Kingroon over the last 6 months, so we're gonna. I like their products. I really, frankly, I do like their products, but because I think you get a lot of bang for your buck with them. So you have 3 Kingroons in states of disrepair. Oh, okay, yeah, I have. I mean, I've got. I got the one back here that I've done a bunch of testing on and so forth, but and the last thing I did, they sent me their flexible build plate, and I mean, look at the surface, look at the print surface on that. Like that scratch is my fault, but that's from their flexible build plate. And this box, this was run on the Kingroon KP3S, straight off like that. I mean, it's a good little printer. I mean, yeah, okay, you've got maybe some cooling issues a little bit on some of these steeper overhangs like that. But I mean, it's for what it is. I mean, hey, I mean, look at that. Not that this is a review for the KP3S right now, but look at that. That's why I really like that printer, and that's why I said, yeah, heck yeah, send me the Pro, and we'll give it a good go. So this is something that I don't know what happened there. Oh, I had printed that upside down. That's what happened there. But this is, I forget what this is called. I think this was something I got somewhere where you print your filament swatches, and this is a filament swatch holder so that you can carry it around and you can show your different filament colors. It's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah. So that's not a bad looking print for an under $300 printer. Yeah, I think it was probably a 9 or 10 hour print, but still. You had a KP3S that is being turned into a customized VZ Bot 180. Uses almost everything from frame and rails. Very cool. And motherboard because it has issues. Oh, okay. So who's this that doesn't respect open source because they have closed software on their... Anyways, that's another conversation I've obviously missed. They use Fluid on their Creality OS, but removed all Fluid branding. Oh, interesting. They just introduced KP3S Pro V2 with Clipper. Oh, okay, with no screen. Oh, well, I'm going to have to ask about that. I wonder that maybe that's what I'm getting. I don't know. Was it the V2? Let's see. Let me check my email here. Maybe it was the V2. Look at all these messages from David Wilson. Love it. Because she did talk to me about my channel and my Voron builds. So KP3S Pro S1, but is it the V2? Anyways, we'll find out. If not, I'm definitely going to request a V2 to compare to the V1. Oh, I have that. Like Dexter used. You remixed a swatch. Okay, cool. Oh, I see where you're going there with Teza. Okay. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too, Teza, as well. So you know what? I don't get involved in this whole... I don't want to open a can of worms here. The whole open source thing, I agree with. But at the same time, proprietary things are a way for a company to protect their interests. I don't want to get involved in open source versus not, because I'm for both for different reasons and depending on the company and depending on the product. If you go outside of the 3D printing world, there's not a lot of open source stuff when it comes to hobbyist things in different areas. I mean, you know, so anyways, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I can see the argument on both sides when it comes to open source for 3D printing, because that's the way it was intended to be from the get-go. So if you use open source, I agree. Zombie Hedgehog, I fully agree. If you got to give credit where credit is due, and 100%. So that's why whenever I can, when I'm building something, like I don't remember who designed this thing. It's really cool. But if I use this on a stream or if I use this on a video, I would definitely give credit to the designer of that. I give credit to anybody who provides me with any help, anybody who provides me with anything, any models that I may print. Yeah, I always give credit where credit is due. But the same issue exists in the drone hobby. I imagine a lot of these hobbies that have technology, probably the RC car hobby too, I would imagine. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on. So King Rune resin printer, GM Killer. I've not tried the King Rune resin printer. I got into resin a while ago and I didn't like it and I got out of it very quick. So I'm not a fan of resin. Resin's awesome, but it's just not for me. One of the swatch entries on the printables contest, you have it on your collections. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize. I found this somewhere and thought I like that. That's pretty cool. So that's I thought I'll try that on the King Rune, and we did it, and yeah, I never did anything else with it, but I really like it, and I think when I get my full load of Polymaker filaments in, I think that's what I may do, is print another one of these out of Polymaker and put all my swatches in here. I think it's brilliant design. It's ideal. So, I mean, these things will fit in either way. Oh, no, they only go in one way. And then you can actually put a little label on it here. It's room for a little label for what you want it to say. I may even, run them on the bamboo and do a 2-color print with the label of what the filament is. But that's another project for another day. Another printer dedicated just for swatches. I could do that. That's a great idea. So until you fix the tool head. I think the problem comes in where someone uses open source projects and fork their own closed source firmware at a cost. Yeah, okay, exactly. So it's like the forks of Bamboo Studio. I like the forks of Bamboo Studio. As a matter of fact, the one I'm using right now is called Orca. I think it's called Orca. Anyways, yeah, so I can see, okay, so somebody did a fork of Bamboo Studio, which obviously is open source, which allowed these people to do the fork. Now, if they did this fork of Bamboo Studio and then locked certain features of it and said, hey, pay me and I'll give you those features, then yeah, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. So, but yeah, no, I agree, Poor Boy Channel. It's no. Creality has a questionable history of borrowing others' hardware and software, their scanner and Sonic Pad. Yeah, but you know what? Is that going to stop anybody from using Creality products? Probably not. Is it going to make people think twice about buying a Creality product? Probably. But I think with their latest releases, I'm hoping that they've realized, hey, we've got to change things up to catch up to what's going on out there. And I'm hoping as well, I keep looking at the wrong camera. I'm hoping as well that they clean up their act as far as all that other stuff goes, as far as, stealing intellectual property and taking credit for models that aren't theirs, and this whole Creality crowd fiasco that's been going on. So hopefully that will clean things up a little bit. But as a content creator, I'm interested in these new products. I mean, why wouldn't I be? It's part of my job to share with my viewers my thoughts on certain things. Especially if I'm sent something, I want to share my thoughts on certain things. There's no company out there right now that I can think of that I would say, no, don't send that to me. I don't like your company. I don't believe in what you do. Maybe some of them have issues, but I think deep down inside, if you tear away all the like an onion, if you tear away all the skin, eventually you're going to find something that you don't like about a company. So, isn't Bamboo trying to patent variable layer height or something? Haven't heard of that. I have not heard of that. Orca is amazing, Zombie. Yes, it is. I really like that fork. Yeah. Wish they'd spend their resources innovating instead of cloning existing designs. We'll see what their Core XY clones bring. Yeah, it's kind of funny that did Bamboo innovate, or was I guess Bamboo innovated to a certain point because they added some features in a price range that you don't see on normal consumer level market printers. So definitely. Nuno among others. Wow. Anyways, I don't focus on a lot of that stuff. I just focus on what I want to do. Do I agree with all of it? No. Am I going to stand up and become an advocate for it? No. But I have my morals. I have certain things that I won't give into and certain things that I don't give into. So, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of, I just do my thing. I just do what I do. So, and I respect everybody's opinion. Regardless of your opinion on any of this, regardless of your opinion on my thoughts, I respect everybody's opinion. I never, ever, ever will say, oh, you're wrong. I may say, I see your point, but I have a different opinion on it, but I respect your opinion. So, yeah. It's hard to make new products when a lot of existing designs are good, but you see stuff clearly copied that they don't know why it was originally there. Yeah, true. Yeah, and I agree with you there 100%, Zombie, that 3D more accessible. It's somebody where was I reading on Twitter or something, and they said that it used to be a race to be the fastest printer. It used to be a race to the top. Now it's basically, it's like, oh crap, we have to give the consumers or these hobbyists or whoever, the content creators, the makers, we have to give them a better machine, but we have to keep our price low. So now it's a race to who can go bankrupt first. Like, but they're making money. Don't think that these companies aren't making money. They're making money for sure, one way or the other. So, because no company with half a brain is going to get into something and say, oh, let's go into this and sell these off and lose a whole bunch of money. People think Bamboo lost money in their initial launch of the X1 and the P1Ps, thinking that, okay, well, we'll just do this Kickstarter thing, yada, yada, yada. And maybe they did lose initially, but that's like any new startup. You're going to take some losses. But believe me, they have a plan going ahead. They have a business plan, which is going to include being very profitable. So otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. They're the people that are in that company and where they came from. They're too smart to not have a plan moving forward to know what they're doing. Said the knife maker. I see your point, said the knife maker. Andrew, don't ever quit. So, oh, guys, well, we've gone a couple hours. I've bored you to death as it is, given you some hints of what's coming down the road, and we're going to do a little bit more waiting for the parts on this. Hopefully, within the next week or so, I get these parts. If I don't have the spacers by next weekend, maybe what I'll do next week is we'll tear down the Trident. I'll just, you guys can watch me tear all the color stuff apart, and we'll just tear the poor thing down to the frame and just do that. But yeah, it's, do I have to? No. Do I want to? Yes. Do I really want to? No, but I want to. You know what I mean? It's, yeah. There's more than one way to make a monkey in the market. Some people hate low-end printers, but they have their place. It's easier to build a printer farms and maker spaces with less money. Agreed. Very much so. Yeah, definitely. So you guys, we're going to go. You could mod the spacers and add the spacers later. I could, David. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. I could always just print spacers for now and then put spacers in after. But we'll see what happens. I got a lot of stuff that I can do. So, did you guys? Okay, I want your opinion. Did you guys like this at the beginning? Did anybody see this at the beginning? Watch this. We're gonna roll this. Watch. What do you think? Pretty cool or no? And I got a couple more too. They go on top. Okay. Yeah. And then I got the other one I really like is kind of different. Anyways, yeah. Looks like Joel, does it? Okay, I don't want to be copying anybody. And then one more, and these are just for video intros. And the other one that I have that I really like is this one. Just two more. And one final one. Second is even better. Okay, cool. Okay. Extruder is calibrated. Awesome, Kit. Awesome. Good. You want cartoon and a newsreel, Jack. Too funny. Been a while since you smelled ABS. Okay, thanks, guys. Anyways, I got more. I got about 6 or 7 more that I'm working with to decide what I want to do for an opening, or I may mix and combine them. I got one that's 4 seconds long that's just like basically boom, Because the one thing you learn, I read a lot of the stuff when it comes to YouTubing and streaming and making videos. And the one thing you do learn is to have short intros, not to have like a 30-second intro, because it just, you're going to lose attention. You want a 5 to 10-second intro at the most, something just very fast. And you see a lot of the people that are making videos these days are going with short intros. So we're working on that. So anyways, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate all your feedback. I appreciate everybody that's always tuning in and watching. And we'll keep it going. And we're going to be making videos coming up pretty soon here, shorter videos. And doing less during the week live streams. We're going to stick with our Sunday live, but I want to start making 5 and 10-minute videos, because I got a lot of stuff I want to make videos on and share with you guys about how I do things in here and different tools I use and different methods I use, et cetera, that hopefully can help somebody out there. So we're going to work on that over the next little while, and at the same time get these printers built and try and squeeze in some of the builds that we're going to be getting sent here. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. You guys all have a good week, and we'll see you next time we see you. Bye for now. Thanks again. That didn't work. How come that didn't work? It didn't work. Let's try this again. Bye.